It's a beautiful snowy day here in Tennessee. You know, snowy weather it's a whole lot prettier in the movies than on television. You know, here in Tennessee, it's kind of a nightmare, to get out and drive around. And, when you see the roads are all ice and snowed over like that, the hills are slick, the bridges are almost impassable. And you may wonder, why would I be so ignorant as to get out and to drive and try to come into work? I heard today, my wife actually told me that. She said, the rule is if you don't make enough to pay for your deductible, then you don't get out in the weather. She told me that after I was already out. I didn't bother to think about that. But I want to tell you a story of what happened a few years ago. This may have been more than 10 years or so ago, and this was right at the height of my addiction, and we had a huge winter storm here in Tennessee. I was living up in Murfreesboro at the time, and of course I had to get more drugs. So I left before the storm really set in. Now, and I drove back here to where I'm living now, which is in Perry County, to go to my parents' house. And by the time I got there, the roads were so snowed and iced over, and they lived on a great big hill, and you couldn't even get up that I had to park my car. Now, when I parked my car, I called my stepfather, who came down the hill in his four-wheel drive and took me up there. Now, of course, they all wanted to know why I, got out in this weather, and I had a big, long story. I don't even remember what it was, but I'm sure at the time, even I believed it, about how I needed to get some clothes and needed to get some things. And what I proceeded to do is, when the opportunity arose, is I stole some money and some checks while I was there. Played nice, talked a little bit with the family, so that, they weren't too suspicious, and then proceeded to leave. Had to walk back down the hill, get in my car, and drive, not back to my house, of course, but to downtown Nashville in order to get more dope. Then I got high, and then I drove home, having to go about 20-25 miles an hour, not getting there till about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, I tell that story not to brag on or to glamorize, the war stories of my addiction and things that I did, or not to even talk about how brave I am to get out in the weather, or ignorant, whichever way you look at it today. But I want to illustrate a point with that, and that is that if something is important to us, if the need drives us sufficiently, then we will do it. We will put every effort that is necessary into getting it done. So, if I'm willing to get out and go through the snow drifts and the ice and slide all over the road because I'm trying to get drugs, how much more so now when I'm able to work, when I'm able to work at a ministry that I am proud to be associated with, that I feel actually grateful to even be a small part of what is going on there. How much more so will I get out and to make it happen? And that's the thing about every one of us needs to remember, especially those that are in recovery, that, we're make it happen kind of people. When something is really important to us and it needs to get done, we'll make it happen. Because if something is important to you, you'll find a way to do it. If not, you'll just find an excuse. So I'm not saying that everybody has to get out and drive in this kind of weather today, but I am saying that things that are important to us, things that are dear to us, things that, that we really want to do, that we find a way to do them. And when we find something that is good, something that is beneficial, not just to us, but to everyone else, then it is exactly that sort of thing that we need to be putting that effort into, because we've always put it into everything else. So stay safe if you're driving out there, and, wave at me, slow down if you see me, because I drive kind of slow. All right.